Hey guys, welcome to Potato Reads Reddit. I'm Potato, and today we have an OP who is having some issues with her girlfriend being a little too controlling and a little too possessive. Alright guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification button too if you feel like it, and leave us a comment down below as well if you have time. We're going to get right into our first story today, so here's our first story. First story today is from a throwaway account. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she ruined my night by insisting she comes along? My girlfriend and I, both 20 female, have been dating for a year. My girlfriend Jane and I have separate friend groups. Jane doesn't get along with my friends, yet insists she is brought along to our nights out. It's incredibly uncomfortable because whilst she is a woman, these get-togethers are no partners allowed parties. Plus, she doesn't get along with anyone, so it's super awkward. I was invited out to one of their parties, and Jane got upset that I'm going without her. I'll be gone from 10 a.m. Friday to afternoon on Saturday. She has no issue with both of us going, but without her, it's an issue. I'd say I'd leave later and try to get back earlier, but she wouldn't have it either. I ended up bringing her along, and it was a nightmare. The mood was brought down, and no one really had fun, as my friends seemed to be walking on eggshells around her. When we got back, she kept gloating about how much fun she had, but I felt the opposite. I said, well, I'm glad someone had fun. She got upset and asked what I meant. I explained that it was a friend night in, and she wasn't invited. She got super upset and pulled some crap about how it's toxic that I want to have a night out without her. She said it hurts that I, 1, don't want her there, and 2, that I said she ruined the night. I just wanted to spend some time with friends one-on-one. Am I the asshole? Edit for clarification. 1. I mentioned Jane's gender because usually on posts like these, the one partner rule is because the partners are of opposite sex, so it's a safe space for the people to talk. Guys' nights or girls' nights. I brought up that she's a woman because all my friends have male partners, but it's still a no partners night despite the gender. 2. I am female. Jane is female. I am bi. Jane is a lesbian. 3. All my friends are female. 4. The party was a birthday celebration, which is why it was over 2 days. They usually aren't that long. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I think I'm the asshole for being annoyed at my girlfriend for insisting she came along to a party and then being rude to her afterwards. OP, I don't think you handled this the best. I think that you did a really, really bad job handling this whole situation. That being said, you're kind of the asshole. You're the asshole for the way you handled it, but you're not the asshole for wanting some time to yourself with your friends. I mean, obviously not. There's some next level codependence going on with your girlfriend there, and there is some, next level clinginess going on. So I'm gonna go with a soft, you're the asshole for your handling of the situation, but know that you're not the asshole for wanting some time to yourself. So that's my take on it anyway. So a soft, you're the asshole from me. So that's it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below anyway, and we'll move on to the comments from the actual post. MM172 says, Info. Why are you dating somebody who no one seems to like, you included? OP responds to that saying, I love my girlfriend. I'm just sick of her double standard. I'm not allowed to join her on her nights out with her friends. She could have chilled in our apartment like I do when she goes out. Miss Lolo Power says, not the asshole, but your girlfriend sounds a little controlling. It's also pretty red flaggy that your friends don't like her. This may be a relationship you might want to rethink. Oh How I Meant To says, when I was younger, I always used to think that it was a red flag if I was dating someone who my friends didn't like. And I even ended things with people I genuinely liked because of it. I figured that they must be seeing something I'm not seeing. Basically, I didn't trust myself. As I've gotten older, I've come to regret that kind of thinking. Because who knows what kind of relationship could have developed if I let it. In the end, I did enter into a committed relationship with someone who my friends did like. He turned out to be abusive and isolated me from my friends. So now my attitude is that I'm dating someone to make me happy, not to make my friends happy. Of course I'll listen to my friends' valid concerns, but making my friends happy is not my top priority in my romantic relationships. That said, I do think OP's girlfriend's controlling and jealous behavior is definitely a red flag. Mombitoot says, I think close and trusted friends disliking a partner is certainly food for thought, i.e. a red flag, but not necessarily one to act on like it's a deal breaker, rather one to think over in the wider context of the relationship. Edited for typos. Barella Ball says, "You're the asshole to your friends. If it's as clear as you say that they don't enjoy it when your girlfriend tags along, then I'm surprised they haven't just stopped inviting you altogether." Father Son Holy Toast says, "This is a great point. I feel terrible for the friend whose birthday they were celebrating this past weekend. I'm sure she's been excited about this for a long time and had spent a lot of time and energy planning. It's unfortunate the mood got brought down so hard by the unwelcome tag-along." Alright, that's it for that story and the update, and lucky us, OP has provided us with an update. So, am I the asshole? Update. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she ruined my night by insisting she comes along? So the majority vote was not the asshole, with a few "you're the asshole" votes sprinkled in. A lot of people were genuinely mad at me for being in that kind of relationship, which didn't make sense, but what can you do? Another thing I wanted to address, a lot of people kept saying no means no and stick with it when you say no. I want to reiterate that that does not work with Jane in these scenarios. She would show up no matter what or manipulate me into coming home or giving her the address. I got some good advice and used it to the best of my ability. I also feel I owe everyone an explanation as to why I was dating Jane. First, my parents were in a very toxic relationship all throughout my childhood. They despised each other but refused to divorce or even move out for the benefit of the kids. Clearly, that didn't work. Second, Jane's behavior wasn't always so toxic. But once she started to act how my parents did to each other, my dumb brain associated that with love. I know now that's not the case, but Jane was my first real relationship. The first was a few months that ended with me being cheated on. I sat Jane down and explained that I feel sad by the double standard between her friends and mine. I expressed that I have no idea why she's so possessive and insists on coming to every party. Then she said something I was not prepared for. "I can't trust that you won't go and screw anyone whilst out because you're bisexual." She went on to explain that she finds many of my friends attractive and assumed I did too, and so projected her own attraction onto me and became jealous and possessive. She also said that there's a 50% extra chance you'll cheat on me because you swing both ways. I brought up some issues with how she conducts herself, and she began crying and gaslighting me. Actual gaslighting, but I stood my ground. As for why she's so possessive, in her own words, she just is, and does it because she loves me. I was shocked. I needed time to cool down and think, but I made the decision to break up with Jane. I don't want any biphobia in my life. I told her as such, but she did not take it well. As I was calling for one of my friends, I noticed all my cash from my purse, around £100, was missing, along with my card. That has since been sorted. She got very angry when I called her out, and I left for my own safety. I'm currently staying at my friend's house. Jane didn't want to leave, and it was getting dicey. But I called the cops and they removed her, but I didn't feel safe being home alone after all that. I also apologized to my friend, and she said it was fine. She was just happy I'm out of the relationship. This friend is ride or die, as I am for her. I asked if she, my friend, would dump me as a friend if I continued to be with Jane, and she said, absolutely not. What kind of asshole friend would I be? Who does that? So, yeah, a sort of happy ending? Thanks to everyone who gave me good advice. Material Cellist 4133 says, "I am so happy for you that you recognized it was a toxic relationship. I also recommend maybe talking to a friend or a therapist about your childhood and relationships. When I got out of a toxic relationship, it really helped me. It made me understand my value as well as what I should have in a healthy relationship. I believe it may help you grow and hopefully find a healthy relationship to be in." And Steve 1 replies to that saying, "As someone who had crap examples of what love was growing up, I can't recommend this enough. I was in a similar situation and, well, it went down the same way. Forget Jane, no one needs that." Bywater Bender says, "I'm so sorry that you had to deal with biphobia from another member of the community, on top of her other toxic behavior. As a fellow bi, it is so disheartening that we still have a hard time being accepted. Not gay enough for the gays, not straight enough for the straights. Being bi, pan, queer, etc. does not mean you're going to be a cheater, or you're confused, or polyamorous, or deceptive. Like, no one immediately assumes those things about one gender orientations. Congrats on getting out of that relationship, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward and continuing to grow and heal from your past experiences. Your friend sounds like an amazing person, and I'm glad you have her. Pokemon132 says, question, did you get your key back from Jane, if she had one, before she was removed from your home? Otherwise, change your locks. Actually, change them anyway, she might have made a copy without your knowledge. OP replies to that saying, I got my key back from her and I'm getting the locks changed on Friday, the earliest I could. Emmyburr says, I'm glad you got yourself out of a toxic relationship, OP, and I'm glad you have an excellent friend to support you along the way. But Jane sounds a little unhinged. You may need a restraining order if she decides to harass you after the fact, especially if you don't feel safe at home. Alright, so that's it for the update. I don't think I'm going to change my... I was thinking about it, and it's like, okay, yeah, not the asshole. She was in a toxic relationship, but yes, I'm still going with the soft you're the asshole for the presentation. Like, you should have originally sat down and had this conversation, and then you could have gotten it. Oh, I guess the manipulation, though. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not going to change my original judgment, though. Soft you're the a-hole on the first story because of the passive-aggressive nature of the way you confronted her. I'm super happy, OP, that you're out of a dangerous situation and out of a toxic relationship. It is super hard to see those warning signs. I have been in manipulative relationships for most of my life. My wife is probably the first non-toxic, non-manipulative relationship that I've really had that I feel secure in. So, yeah. So anyway... we're going to move on. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the asshole for getting angry with my girlfriend and demanding she pay to replace my sheets after she got blood on them? Throwaway for privacy. I, male 26, have been dating my girlfriend, female 24, for about a year now, and we recently moved in together. She didn't have a lot of furniture and such, so it's mostly mine in our apartment, including my bed, frame, mattress, sheets. I am a bit of a neat freak, and she generally is too, so we get along pretty well living together. Now, I'm not one of those guys that gets grossed out over a woman having her menstrual cycle. I've had sex with my girlfriend on lighter days with a towel down. I'll go buy her feminine products. I don't get weirded out if she mentions it. I will say, though, it totally grosses me out getting it on my bed, though. Well, a few days ago, when we woke up, I noticed a blood spot on the bed and got totally grossed out. I knew she had been on her period for 3 days already, so it wasn't any sort of surprise accident. I asked how it happened, and she was upset and said she thought she didn't need to sleep with anything on. I told her that was absurd. Why would you go without wearing anything and get blood all over my bed? I told her that was irresponsible and that she needed to pay me for new sheets. She agreed to pay for new sheets, but got upset with me for getting angry and calling her irresponsible. She said that she likes not wearing anything when she can. She said she thought her flow was light and she wouldn't bleed overnight. She says I have no reason to be angry or talk down to her over something I don't experience. I said that she should have been more careful with where we sleep and that it was unhygienic. Am I the asshole for getting upset and wanting her to pay? Oh, P, yes, of course you're the asshole. In what world are you not the asshole? You are so obviously the asshole. Oh my god. Go and apologize to your girlfriend. It's too late. That's a relationship ender right there. I can't see a world where she doesn't break up with you. You know, that's just... It's her period, man. That's her body. That's not okay, and it's not unhygienic. Do you have sex in your bed? I bet you do. There's no more unhygienic than menstrual fluids. It's the same thing, but with a little bit of blood. Oh my god. If she sliced her hand open on a piece of broken glass and accidentally bled on the sheets, would you have the same reaction? No. Alright, I can't even. That is, I've lost my ability to can because of OP. Alright, so I'm just going to leave it at that. You're obviously the asshole, and I'd love to hear what all you guys have to say in the comments down below, and we're going to move on to some of the comments from the post. What Lies Beneath 232 says, oh my god, you are probably the biggest asshole I've ever seen on this. I'm sorry, but this is outrageous. First of all, it would be normal for you not to get freaked out about talking about it or buying her hygiene products. nothing to be praised. As a woman, I would have packed my bags and left in the moment because you are clearly not mature enough to be with a woman, or maybe you need to educate yourself a bit better. A woman can have her period for 30 years, and each week she has it, it can be different. I've often thought it was gone, and a day later I realized it's not. You can't see inside your body and will never know how heavy or light it would be. A blood spot on your bed and you freak? I cannot believe a man would behave like this. I couldn't imagine how embarrassed your poor woman must be. Something she cannot control and you embarrass her like that? I've gotten blood on the bed before and my boyfriend has never batted an eyelid. I actually cannot believe what I just read. WookieJesus05 replies to that saying, applause. My thoughts exactly. Funny how most people are here saying not the asshole have never had a period in their lives. I would say you're the asshole and forget about the sheets. She needs to dump your ass ASAP. No Jellyfish 1208 says, you're the asshole. Quote, I'm not one of those guys that gets grossed out over a woman having her menstrual cycle. Another quote, well, a few days ago when we woke up I noticed a blood spot on the bed and got totally grossed out. Dude, make your mind up. Also, even when a lady wears a pad, something can still leak. It happens. Alright, this is my second recording of this edit because it made me so furious the first time, so I'll have words after I'm done. Edit to add. A lot of people seemed confused by what I said not wearing anything. She was wearing her normal pajamas, just no menstrual products. She said since she's on birth control, she's very light on day 3 and doesn't ever bleed on the sheets. It still seems unreasonable to me not to have something for extra coverage just in case. To everyone saying just wash the sheets, she did, but I just don't like the thought of it. Oh my god, OP, you just keep making everything so much worse. I don't like you as a human being at this point. I mean, there's no way you can possibly be a good person at this point, so I think you're just the asshole in life in general, and she is definitely going to leave you. I would bet the farm on it she is going to leave you. So, let's move on. Second edit. I obviously see I was being a jerk for being condescending towards her and not being sensitive to her embarrassment. I told her I was going to replace the sheets myself. She got upset again, saying she didn't want to financially burden me every time she could potentially have a leak, and that washing them was good enough. I told her I obviously just have a weird phobia with it and I need to work through. I did ask her to wear products every night until she knows it's gone, and she called me ignorant and had no right to suggest how she handles her period. She's coming to get her stuff to stay with her mom, so it feels pretty over. I'm sure many of y'all will be happy to hear. OP, I'm not happy to hear any of this, and I don't think anybody is happy to hear any of this. We're all furious to be hearing any of this. I mean, oh my god. Alright. I can't, so let's move on. Third edit. Yep, she says it's definitely over. I tried taking what some of you said about understanding that the flow fluctuates and all that, but she said the damage was done. Yeah, the damage is done. Alright, OP. You just dug a hole. Fix this before you get another girlfriend, because you can't keep going on like this. You'll spend the rest of your life alone if you keep going this route, because there's no way any woman is going to tolerate this nonsense. Alright, let's move on to the next story. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the asshole for going off on my husband for saying this to the kids? My husband and I have 2 kids, 13 female and 11 male. Right now we are going through some financial struggles and we ended up losing so many of our belongings to be able to pay off mortgage debts. The kids have been more than understanding of our situation, and they will help with whatever they can. My son even offered that we sell his computer to get money, which was sweet, but I insisted he didn't have to. My daughter draws perfectly, and she's been selling a few of her works to friends online to buy stuff for our house. All in all, let me just say that I'm proud and grateful for my kids and their efforts to help out. So days ago, we went to visit my family, and my brother was talking to my husband about our debt struggles. My husband loves our house dearly and swore he would not lose it no matter what happens. My brother then asked what he'd do if he couldn't afford next month's payment, and my husband just looked at the kids and said, well, guess then I'll have to adopt you 2 out. The kids get quiet. I look at them with a stunned look on my face as they get up from their seats and make their way upstairs. The rest of the family just stare awkwardly. A few seconds in, and I went off on my husband about what he told the kids and how cruel his words were. He defended himself that he was just messing with them, but that stuff is damaging both emotionally and mentally, and to say this to the kids after they had showed nothing but support, that was so messed up. He lashed back saying, "I overreacted and needed to loosen up and drop it, but I refused to do that. I followed the kids upstairs and stayed there. They were actually crying when I found them in the room. I felt awful and didn't speak to my husband after that. I did demand that he apologize and make it up to the kids, and he said no and insisted he was just messing with them. Am I the asshole? He said I offended him in front of the family." Okay, OP, here's the rule for messing with people. If you say something and everybody laughs, then they get it and it's okay, and you can laugh along with them and everybody has a good time. If you say something and everybody's stunned and the kids start to cry, then that's not a joke, that's you being an asshole. And you need to explain that to your husband, because it's a very, very simple thing to understand. Okay, so you are obviously not the asshole, and your husband is being a pretty huge asshole, though I will say you need to explain this to him calmly and rationally and gently, because he's obviously going through some pretty serious stress. Okay, he is the asshole and you are not the asshole in this situation, but being at each other's throats and treating each other as, the enemy, that's not going to fix anything. It's not going to help your situation. Alright, I've been under financial stress. I've been under financial burden. I've been so poor that I couldn't afford to eat on certain days. And, I've been on the ramen for a week diet in my life. And I know, and that financial stress is probably the worst kind of stress. And that's what your husband's going through right now. And he made a bad joke. It didn't get taken well. He's feeling insecure anyway, and he got defensive. So please, OP, don't be too harsh on your husband, but at the same time, you do need to confront him and let him know that what he did was wrong. Alright? I really do wish you the best in this, not the asshole. Your husband is being an asshole, and we're going to move on to some of the comments from the original post. Caroline Diva says, "Not the asshole. He may have meant it as a joke, but it wasn't received that way. He's in the wrong and you should absolutely stand up for your kids." Boobs Brains Brawn says, "Agreed, not the asshole. Info. What does his family think of what he did? You said everyone stared awkwardly. Did they also think he was out of line and back you up? Edit. I misread the post. It was OP's family, not husband's family." Outlandishness New 259 responds to that saying, "They are the ones who asked the awkward questions, so they probably loved the crap show they created. I know those types of people. They stir the pot, sit back, watch the show." Scratchy Tuber responds to that saying, "Silly take. Brother-in-law is trying to get husband to think through the situation so they can come up with a real action plan. That's why he's asked the question." Bad Cop No Donut says, "Not the asshole. If the kids are crying, it's definitely not funny. He's an ass." Excitement Glad 2995 says, "These kids are so scared right now and are trying to help out. He just made them feel even more like a burden. That is wrong." Humble Success 6336 says, "Wow, not the asshole. He may have meant it as a joke, but clearly no one took it that way. That is just disrespectful to your kids and cruel. I could never imagine even making that joke to my kids." RoseDust666 says, "Honestly, I don't even have a problem with the joke. I'm pretty sure my parents said that to me quite a few times growing up. But as soon as it became clear that the kids weren't taking it as a joke, he should have been falling over himself apologizing and reassuring them that he was only joking. The fact that he seems okay with his kids being devastated after taking his words literally is just appalling." Outlandishness New 259 says, "Everyone sucks here. Why are children this young around for such a conversation? Why on earth would someone ask you what you would do if you couldn't make a payment in front of your children? Was your husband supposed to say you would lose the home and you'll all be homeless? His comment was awful, like really, really hurtful, but he wasn't really left with many good alternatives, was he? Stop making your very young children part of your very big problem. They should not feel the weight of the world on their shoulders at this age. Ask your family not to talk about your finances in front of them either." Juicy Belly responds to that saying, I completely overlooked the fact that this isn't a topic for children at that age because I have had to be involved in these things at the same age for different reasons. So for a moment, my brain just didn't comprehend how messed up it is to include them in this. It makes sense to be transparent about the financial situation because they can't afford much, etc. But they were talking about things that the kids should never hear, and that makes everyone an asshole, especially the brother for even asking that in front of them, and the husband for thinking the joke was appropriate and not apologizing. Everyone sucks here. Alright guys, that's all the stories we have for today. Thank you for spending your time with me, and don't forget to shoot us a comment down in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of the stories, what you think of the judgments, all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and that notification button too if you feel like it. It really does help out the channel, and I hope you guys have a really great day. Alright, thanks for spending your time with us, and goodbye.